I'm a 27-year-old electrical engineer making over $130,000 at my 9 to 5 job. And even with that kind of income, I still believe that if I actually want to take my financial life to the next level, I need to be building multiple reliable income streams separate from my 9 to 5 throughout the next 2 to 3 years. And I know on the surface that might sound super unnecessary because a lot of people would look at that salary that I'm currently making and think I've already made it or that I'm way ahead of the game. But I've realized that a high income alone does not get me to the financial freedom that I want. No matter how much money you're making, if all of your money is coming from one place, you're still dependent on that one source of income. You still have to trade your time for that one source of income. You still probably have to go into the office every day for that one source of income. To me, that is not financial freedom. That's just a really well paid version of the same financial trap that everyone is in right now. If something happens to that job, let's say I get burnt out or I just decide I want more control over my time, right now I do not have control to make a decision like that. For me, this next phase of my financial life is about thinking differently and playing a different game. While I'm working on increasing my income, I'm also working to build systems that will pay me outside of my 9 to 5 and put myself in a position where I'm not relying only on one paycheck to fund everything I want to do long term. And I am not saying that you need 10 different side hustles, or I'm not saying to burn yourself out trying to do everything at once. But what I am saying is that one option to get ahead in 2026 is stacking multiple income streams together that make sense for your life and your skill set. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I'm building my multiple income streams in 2026. I'm going to tell you what I've started so far, what's actually working for me, what's not working for me, and the mindset I'm carrying into the rest of the year as I try to scale this into something meaningful. The first income stream I'm working very hard to build right now is this YouTube channel. And to be completely upfront with you, I have not made a single dollar from it yet. And honestly, that is not my focus right now with this channel. I did not start this channel to just chase ad revenue, try to squeeze every dollar out of the video, because if you come into YouTube with a money first mindset, people can probably feel that immediately. And it's probably going to come off forced, it's going to come off fake, and that's exactly how you lose trust before you even build it. My entire focus right now is being as transparent as possible and putting out as quality of videos as I can, getting better with every single video, and actually providing real value to you guys, and hopefully changing y'all's financial trajectory. Because at the end of the day, that's the foundation that everything else is built on for this channel. And I think this is where a lot of people get it backwards when they start a YouTube channel, or any kind of content business for that matter. They're thinking about monetization before they've even earned the views. They're worried about how to make money before they've proven they can make something worth watching. And that's why most people never get traction. I'm going to do it differently. I'm not going to rush the process, and instead, I'm going to build something that actually stands out. For me, I'm treating YouTube like a long term asset, not a quick payout for me. I am focused on building an audience that comes back to watch my videos consistently. I hope to build an audience that gets real value out of the content that I'm producing, because once I have that, monetization on this channel will become a lot easier and a lot more natural. All of that only works if the foundation is there first. So right now, I'm putting in reps, I'm learning what works on YouTube, I'm improving the quality of my videos, and I'm staying consistent, even though there's no financial return yet, because I understand that this is part of the grind and is part of the process. I'd rather spend this time building something real and sustainable than trying to force money out of it way too early and end up killing my momentum. I know that if I stay consistent and keep improving, the income will come. Making money will come from this, but it's only going to come because the value is there first, not because I tried to shortcut my way into it. Shortcuts are never the answer to things that I am trying to achieve in life. The next income stream that my fiance and I have been working on is Rover. And this is one that has been a completely different experience from YouTube because it's a lot more hands on and honestly a little bit more unpredictable at times. We've been doing it for about a month and a half now, and so far we've made about $175 from 3 different clients, so nothing crazy yet. But also, that's not really the point at this stage. Right now, we're focused on learning how the platform works, building up good reviews, and slowly growing a client base that we can rely on over time. Then we're going to slowly increase our rates as we stack up more clients because just like anything else, this takes a little bit of patience in the beginning before it starts to snowball in the right direction for you. My fiance and I are treating this as something we can build together, and we're figuring it out as we go. We're figuring out what works and what doesn't. We're figuring out how the heck to handle different dogs and how to make the whole experience better for both of us and the owners. And to be real with y'all, one of the biggest challenges right now is actually our own dog with this process because he's kind of a menace when we bring other dogs over for the first day. Not in a bad way, but he just wants to play nonstop and doesn't really know how to settle down yet. So the first day on Rover typically ends up in chaos. Day 2 usually gets a little bit better, and day 3 is really when you start to get that harmony out of it. So what ends up happening is like they'll be playing in the yard going crazy, playing the entire time, and it's just super chaotic that first stretch of the weekend where we're watching the other dog. It also does not help that our dog is 9 months old, and he's a red field golden retriever, which is one of the most highly energetic puppies out there. And then another thing that I'm always on the lookout for is another side hustle to add into the mix. So if there's anything you've tried that's actually worked, or something you think I should look into based on my background, drop it in the comments because I read all of them and I'm always looking for ideas that are actually practical and worth pursuing. But again, this is all part of the learning phase, and we know that if we stick with it and improve our boarding over time, we're going to keep stacking those positive experiences and positive reviews, and this potentially could turn into a solid extra income stream. And if any of you have experience on Rover or tips how to handle multiple dogs, especially when one of them doesn't know how to turn it down, leave a comment down below because we're trying to get better at this one. My thought process with all this right now is that I'm really trying to figure out what's actually going to take me to the next level financially. And I've come to realize it's probably not going to be any of these side hustles on their own that will magically change everything for me overnight. It's more about the mindset and the system behind how I'm approaching all of this. The way I think about it is almost like a video game where you're trying to level up your character over time, and each level builds on the one before it. Level 1 is just getting your foot in the door with a solid 9 to 5 and building a strong income foundation. Because none of this works if you don't have cash flow coming into your bank account consistently. Level 2 is learning how to actually keep and grow that money by investing a meaningful percentage of your income instead of just spending everything you make. Then level 3 is where things start to get interesting, because that's when you start stacking additional income streams on top of your 9 to 5, whether that's side hustles, content creation, anything else that has the potential to scale beyond your time. And then level 4, which is where I feel like I'm starting to step into now, is going back through levels 1 through 3 and essentially prestiging like you're in Call of Duty, meaning you're getting better at everything because now you have that experience. You're earning more in your career, you're investing more efficiently, you're being more intentional about what side hustles you're putting your time and effort into, and that's really where the growth can start happening. The biggest thing that ties all this together is the mindset that I'm approaching it with. If I don't get this part right, none of the income streams that I'm working on are going to work long term. I'm not going into any of these expecting quick money, instant results, or some overnight success. I'm going into it understanding that I'm building income producing assets that do take time, and there's going to be a lot of trial and error before they start to pay off. And I think that's where most people fail. They try something for a few weeks, they don't see the immediate results, and then move on to the next thing, when in reality, they just needed to change their expectations. I feel like this generation just lacks a sense of patience for building sustainable forms of income. For me, this is about playing the long game and stacking these income streams together over time. Because every video I post, every client we get on Rover, every lesson I learn from all this, it's all going to compound in the right direction for me if I stay consistent. And more importantly, this mindset gives me control over my finances, because instead of relying on one paycheck and hoping everything works out, I'm actively building multiple paths that can support me in the future. All at the same time, I understand that these side hustles may not be the biggest lever to building wealth compared to my investing in my 9 to 5, but it's one piece of the bigger puzzle towards achieving financial freedom. So that's all I have for this video. Leave a comment down below if you are working to build multiple income streams in 2026 and what those may look like. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and stayed all the way to the end. As always, I'll catch you all in the next one.